Yo, there's an Among Us character. XD, come back towards the staircase. Oh, there's an Among Us character. Starts the Among Us.
Yeah, Putin has been stubborn. The president thought he could probably get him to go in a different direction. So far, it's been a hard thing to do. In your old job, you went overseas to see that firsthand. In your new job, you are really the perfect guest to answer the following question. It has to do with critical minerals coming out of China that may be limited to Western defense companies, and that could hurt us when we're trying to get ready for the possibility of threats to our own country. Here it is, Wall Street Journal.
Is it just duos? Is it duos?
Is choking, the headline reads. China is choking the supply of critical minerals to Western defense companies. The squeeze on minerals highlights how dependent the U.S. military is on China for much of its supply chain.
I remember if you mine that stuff, there's a chance they'll give you good stuff.
And heated trade negotiations. Mike, take us behind the curtain for all of this. What are companies like Palantir and others able to do to get around this if it is a reality?
I know what I'm doing.
Well, Palantir wants to help revitalize and transform American manufacturing, so we build things here domestically. When we look geopolitically, I think it's important to recognize the scale of the problem. Xi Jinping's predecessor, Deng Xiaoping, famously said, the Middle East has oil, China has rare earths. They have a stranglehold on 90% of the production. The other 10% for heavy rare earths is Myanmar, which is a pariah state drifting into China's orbit. And so, for anything that moves, whether it's wind turbines, electric vehicles, fighter jets, nuclear submarines, there's some sort of rare earth magnet involved. This is a huge liability. It means we are one Chinese export control away from an economic and national security disaster, which is why it is so important to build.
What's the game plan?
So how do we do
I don't know. I'm just mining some stuff right now.
MP Materials investing over
some more
$100
arrows.
million, I think, was a brilliant and bold move. We have to stimulate our own domestic champions, and it's brilliant because it unlocks private capital. The offtake portion of the agreement basically
break iron blocks.
Guarantees the Defense Department will buy these.
They're the ones that drop arrows.
Therefore, there's been $500 billion of private capital flowing in MP Materials. That's a good move. That's how we wean ourselves off our dependency on China in this key area.
All right, let's get a move on. Mike, thank you for your time and sharing your inside knowledge. Thank you. Mike Gallagher. Dana.
Thank you.
But breaking tonight, Russian President Vladimir Putin wants a meeting with President Trump. This comes as the president's top envoy talked with Russian leader Putin in Moscow.
There's people over here.
Just 2 days from President Trump's deadline for Russia to make peace
Specs,
with
do you see them?
Ukraine. And it comes as President Trump signs an executive order placing an additional 25% tariff on India over its purchase of Russian oil. Start there. Senior White House correspondent Peter Doocy starts us off live from the North Lawn. Good evening, Peter.
Good evening, Brett. Officials here either aren't telling us or they don't know themselves where in the world this Putin-Trump meeting could be. And it's possible that it doesn't happen next week, but it's possible that it does.
Diamond sword.
If the final outcome is
I got a diamond sword as well.
to be
nice.
And a gold flame sword.
There will be a meeting very soon.
Oh, Steve, there's an enchanted diamond sword over here. Here.
Could be ending
Can I give you it?
ending the round,
Drop
ending
this one.
the end to that road. That road was long and continues to be long.
Until the Russian army lays down its arms, Ukraine's Zelensky, who spoke to President Trump today, says Ukraine will definitely defend its independence. We all need
poisoned us.
lasting and reliable peace. Russia
Hide behind a wall.
must end the war that it itself
He set me on fire somehow.
The two sides and the two positions
Yes,
close
hide.
enough so that the ultimate closer, President Trump, can get involved and make it happen.
Are you near?
Trump initially gave until September to cease fire. This was July 15th.
I don't think 50 days is very long, and it could be sooner than that.
But
He poisoned me again.
He shrunk the deadline down.
I'm going to make a new deadline of about 10 or 12 days. We just don't see any progress being made.
Putin asked Envoy Steve Witkoff for a
So you want to try and push towards the middle?
Throw your dynamites at him.
I only have the boom box, but I
Yeah,
can't
you can throw
it.
them.
No, I can't throw these.
Oh,
These are
two.
for myself only. These are for myself only.
Oh.
So like, it sends me forward.
Trump and Putin come as the U.S. follows through on threats to sanction countries funding Russia's war by buying Russia's oil. First up, India, whose government explains our imports are based on market factors and done with the overall objective of ensuring the energy security of 1.4 billion people of
Are you
India.
alright?
Tariffs were a
No,
key
he just got me.
campaign promise. so President Trump is trying something different. The previous administration did everything regarding Russia and Ukraine.
I told you I'm not good at this.
Me either. How was bro hitting us and we were just like, he was just sitting still.
But he is trying to get this done on his own. Brett?
Peter Ducey, live from the North Lawn. Peter, thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube
Let's do it again.
and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.
Now that I'm a little bit more experienced.
Anywhere else.
Okay,
You
only
ready?
1 week left
Nope.
here until President Trump's deadline
Me
for
either,
Russian
but
sanctions go
we
into
got
effect.
this.
The president is issuing some pretty sharp criticism of Russia's latest attacks on Ukraine. He spoke to reporters in the Oval Office yesterday. Listen.
I think it's disgusting what they're doing. I think it's disgusting. This is Biden's war, it's not my war. But I said if I get in, I'll try and get the thing stopped. But I think what Russia's doing is very sad.
Steve Yates, AFPI Senior Fellow and Chair of the China Policy Initiative, joins us here now. Steve, good morning to you. I want to play one more soundbite from President Trump if I can, because he's talking about these sanctions that we've all been talking about for a while. Will they go into effect? He's getting closer to it, but even he is acknowledging that
Is there
it might not
any?
work.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to put sanctions.
I don't think there's
on
ores
sanctions
down low.
bother him.
If you keep digging down.
Me
They
either.
know about sanctions. I know better than anybody about sanctions and tariffs.
He knows.
and everything
He
else.
always knows
I
better
don't
than
know if that has
anybody
any
about
effect,
something.
But, we're going to do it. Europe
He's
is
all, I
extremely
always know
upset.
better.
But this is a war that should have never happened. This is a war that wouldn't have happened if I were president.
So where does that leave our leverage?
Well, obviously, the president's justified in being frustrated. I mean, he's kept good faith with all parties in this. He was very clear as a bell what his intentions were: stop the killing, pursue an alternative path to peace and prosperity, talk to Russia, Ukraine, allies, and at this point, Putin is not reciprocating.
I got a
There really
spell of
aren't
life.
that many options.
Nice.
where
Do you need a
the
diamond
president
sword?
faces Other than trying to
I
protect
have
access
a sharpness 1 iron
financial
sword.
and energy markets.
Do you want a diamond
That's
sword?
what he's hinting towards.
No.
Europe and others need to go along. It sounds like they may, but this is basically the clear frustration of a president who's trying to pursue peace, but with big powers that aren't sharing that vision.
Yeah, and Russia is responding with threats of their own. I mean, basically saying to Trump, if you keep playing these games, these war games with the 50 days, the 10 days, that, you know, they're talking about
3 days
war
and 50
not
days
with
and 10
Ukraine,
days,
but with
all the
our
days.
country.
Monday,
I
Tuesday.
do think this was an interesting op-ed from the Wall Street Journal here, talking about what Trump might be trying to accomplish here, sort of mimicking what Richard Nixon did. Mr. Trump has long admired the way Richard Nixon exploited Russia-China tensions to end China's isolation.
I'm moving to the
during
island right
war.
next to
And
us.
one reason he has said he wants to settle the Ukraine conflict is that he thinks it drove Russia and China closer together. Breaking up this axis could possibly
On you.
Russia to the bargaining table with Ukraine. I think
On me.
a lot of people would agree, but how might the president expedite that situation that he's hoping for? You think some of these trade deals,
Okay, no
or
more
at least a
people?
trade deal with China,
Nice.
might
Good stuff. Good stuff.
pressure this
Damn.
sort of breaking apart of their relationship?
That was
On the
close.
bridge. On the bridge.
I
Two
see
coming
it a little bit
across the way. It looks like.
in that, you know, in my lifetime, China's changed a great deal. The Cold War is a very, very different environment. And Xi Jinping is a different kind of leader of China's Communist Party.
It was like a knockback feather.
All of the frustrations the president is experiencing with Putin, speaking friendly in terms from time to time, but not taking action that leads to peace. Likely to
No, he got me off. He got me off.
Oh my god.
He flung me.
line of increasing tensions with all of his neighbors. So
Oh,
No
dang.
wonder they had a knockback fish.
my view
Did you
is
die?
The big rebalancing
No,
on
I
trade
killed
the
him.
president's been doing
Both?
is the right path to
Yeah,
set
both.
that course.
Nice.
Lessening dependencies improves our leverage, lessens theirs. Those are the things that will